Speaking about coming together, something a little bit lighter.
Yeah, it's time for light.
The ministry is looking at options for Hilkka the moose.
Hilkka. That's
Have
right.
you heard about this Hilkka the moose?
I've heard
Is
of
this
Hilkka.
new to you?
Well, you just said it in the headlines.
This has been ongoing.
So I did know about Hilkka, but when you said it in the headlines, I knew of it even more.
So Beaver Lake, if you know where Beaver Lake is.
It's just between Sudbury and Nairn Center, I believe. Here's a little picture of the moose here.
Cute, definitely cute, cute little animal.
Yeah.
Not little, but
Definitely not little, and found on the Sudbury Star website, sudburystar.com. You can find this story that Zach is now talking about.
so the Ministry of Northern Development, Mines and Natural Resources on Monday responded to questions about Hilkka and what's going on with the moose. Maybe we should just say what's going on.
I think so.
Yeah, so there is a roughly 1-year-old calf moose around Beaver Lake that has become very friendly and comfortable with humans. And you showed the picture.
Yep.
She doesn't appear to have any symptoms of brain worm and appears healthy, but residents are kind of suspecting that Hilkka is an orphaned moose and that her mother that would normally still be with her
Yeah.
has for some reason is no longer with her.
Okay.
So that might be why she's so friendly. She's kind of looking for, like normally an orphan of that age would look for someone to take care of them.
For sure.
So people have been feeding her, and they've named her Hilkka the moose. She has no fear of humans, no fear of people, which obviously could be a problem.
Definitely.
With an animal of that size, magnitude.
Yes.
Like imagine, a 3,000-pound moose is coming to say hi.
You know what? I think a lot of us would like a 3,000-pound moose to come say hi to us, but at the same time, that's the more it gets friendly with somebody,
Yeah.
then there's now opportunities for somebody to either harm the moose, like you said, or maybe the moose doesn't mean to, but harms us, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so big, like you said.
Yeah, I remember last week there was a story that the Timmins Wildlife Park operator offered to take Hilkka.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and relocate her.
Huh.
And give her like a safe, natural place. Because there's not really a scenario in Beaver Lake where Hilkka just becomes a normal, like natural, unhumanized moose again.
For sure.
Just like any other animal. Like they become accustomed, and they're not going to, of their own volition, just leave, right? That's part of the issue with feeding an animal like this. Just like any other, it's like when you go to the zoo. It says don't feed them.
Don't feed the moose.
Why do you not feed them? Because they become accustomed to that.
Yeah.
Right?
Just like we do. If we go to Grandma's house and she always has cookies.
We're going to go back.
We want to go back to Grandma's again.
They're feeding us.
Mm-hmm.
So the MNDMNR, it's a long acronym.
MMDMMR?
MNDMNR, it's the
MMDMNR.
Ministry of Northern Development, Mining and Natural Resources. So apparently they cover moose encounters. The ministry does.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah. So over time, they're hoping that Hilkka will lose familiarity with people, become less comfortable with people, and become more of a... I don't know about you, but
so
when I go out in the
really-
bush, I don't see many moose. Like they don't necessarily like humans.
Yeah,
they
they
don't
kinda
want to
stick
be
to
around us
stick to
usually.
them. Yeah.
So when they do, it's kind of concerning, especially because even though it's well accepted and well established, hunting kind of makes most of us uncomfortable. The idea of
But you know
killing
what?
a majestic animal, but
Yeah.
it is going to happen. So if Hilkka the moose becomes, I'm sure many people would be upset if Hilkka the moose gets hunted.
But you know what I thought was interesting from that quote? They're hoping that it becomes less, interested in humans.
Why is that? Why is
That's-
that interesting?
Well, what's their plan to
How are they
help
gonna
it?
do that?
Not, yeah, that's what I mean, right? What are they
Yeah.
doing
Make fun of her?
to help it? It's
tell jokes?
it's like a fireman going and seeing a house on fire and going, "Wow, I really hope it rains tonight.
Yeah.
I hope that house doesn't burn down all the way, or a big wind."
Just like hoping.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they're
against
hoping
hope,
that
yeah.
it'll just, not have as much interest with humans. which is probably the opposite that normally would happen if it's making friends with people and people are feeding her. What do you get?
Well, they're just saying the ideal scenario is that
Exactly.
she would go off on her own and never come back.
We're hoping she just goes away.
Yeah, let's hope the raid puts out the fire.
And if she doesn't, then we'll have to come up with a plan, which we don't have yet, but we're hoping to have one. So, I know we had a bear in our yard when we used to live in Coppercliff.
Yeah.
And they
was
came
that
with
a
a
common
cage.
occurrence, or is that a big deal?
I think it was quite common, and depending on the time or
Okay.
of year and the time period. So we had a bear, and they came with a cage, and they put a bunch of day-old donuts, or I don't know how old the donuts were.
To track them?
Yeah, in a little bag in the cage, and so the bear was attracted to the sweet.
Sure.
They love sweet things, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, caught him in our yard, and it was interesting because the kids, really loved to have. This was almost like having a pet bear for the day, right in our side yard.
Right.
And they took that bear, and they brought him to a place that was a little more conducive to bears, rather than right in a town full of people.
Well, I can tell you, and the MND MNR might not like
You're
this.
getting good at that, by the way. Say it again?
There's no fluid way to say DMNR.
The MND.
It's not like, NORAD or something. That's good.
Okay.
If I had some land I lived out, it sounds terrible. I would probably try and lure moose to my property.
You don't want to lure them?
Just to watch them.
Okay.
And enjoy their presence. So I can't say that I'm innocent of this tendency.
No.
Like, I would put some alfalfa hay in like a, hanging feeder.
Similar to the donuts, but alfalfa.
But I would want to see the moose. Like when people come to my house,
that's what I mean.
Oh, let's bring the moose around.
You're going to call all your friends and say, hey.
Most people have never seen a moose.
Come see the moose.
Like,
he's in my yard.
We're unique in that. Same with bears, maybe. Maybe not bears.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't want to show off
our
bear problem.
The bear in the cage was something you could show off because you knew he was in a cage. So
yeah, but generally, it's the same thing. Like black bears become accustomed to humans, right?
Yeah.
They become
and food. They know where the food is.
Especially the food.
They're going to come back.
But I don't know. It's kind of a funny story. I don't see this as like a terrible tragedy. Like some naturalists might see this as a terrible thing, but
it is what it is.
We cohabitate with some amazing animals. And
we live in northern Ontario.
Occasionally, we're going to come across them. We live on the frontier here.
That's it. We live in northern Ontario. This is what you can expect. We're right. Yeah, exactly. The bush is right.
Yeah.
We live in the bush. It's like a small city.
Where's our equivalent to the Toronto Zoo, where people can come see the amazing wildlife?
We don't have an equivalent.
We have a beaver in Science North.
We have a beaver
and a porcupine.
Now we have a
moose. This might be the next attraction.
There you go. Go to Beaver Lake. And
she seems to enjoy the humans, so I don't see a downside.
There you go. Controversial, yet not.